welcome.
Hi, James.
Great start. So welcome Ildi to the show. Now it's Racz Prosser.
No.
Racz Prosser.
No.
Racz Prosser.
That's it.
Third time. You go on, say my name
it's
first
not an
time.
easy one.
No, it's not.
It's not an easy one. I mean, the Prosser is blah, but Racz is not necessarily, a first
easy.
choice.
No, not the first thing you go to. So where are both sides of the name from the same country?
No.
Okay, where are they from?
Well, Racz is my maiden name, so I was born Racz.
Yep.
And Prosser is pretty much my amazing husband's name.
Awesome.
So, and he's as Aussie as it gets.
Nice. Good lad. Good lad. Yeah. So hyphenated name. You guys chose to hyphenate the names.
Yes.
Excellent. I didn't have a choice. I was given the hyphenaid name. Ours is from way back,
You
many generations.
You can add another hyphen.
No, that won't be happening. No, the name is long enough. Bennett Hullen is far too long already. I have to shorten the email to BENHUL just to make it reasonable. Awesome. So your business, we'll get the business stuff out of the way and then we can get into the fun stuff. Not that your business isn't fun. The Time Fix. What does the Time Fix do? Obviously, you have fun doing it.
The Time Fix. The Time Fix is all about a people-first productivity approach to our biggest problem nowadays, which is how do we get things done faster, better, and in a way that doesn't take all the fun away from work.
Yeah. And how do you do that?
How do we do that? Well, we love a little bit of profiling because let's go back.
Yep.
What happened was that almost 12 years ago, I was going through a divorce, and it's not a fun space to be in.
No.
And I realized that I'm missing the organized gene, just because we spoke before about being organized and so on.
Yeah.
And what I realized was that I needed to up my game. What I did, I straight away went to where everyone else goes, which is time management. Good old-fashioned Dr. Google. Nowadays, it would be ChatGPT. I Googled, learned, read anything and everything I could find about time management. And on the back of that, I actually created a beautiful small business planner. It was called the End Planner.
Yep.
And as a good direct seller, I sold the planner to anyone and everyone who just needed it. And I had a lot of moms in business around me who loved it and used it. And about half a year into using it, I realized that people don't know what they don't know. And just because you have a good tool, it doesn't mean that you know what to do with it. So I started to coach on it. And this is how the time management side of things was born. Because effectively, I wasn't doing business coaching. I wasn't doing all the other jazz. I was purely focused on how can you get through your day more efficiently and how can you get things done. So while doing that, I was never able to really explain what I do. So what I ended up doing, I bumped into an amazing business coach who now lives in Western Australia, Craig Stevens. And
Cool thing.
I agree. And I literally had a session with him where he extracted what I was doing. And he said, "Oh, so you're helping people make friends with their time."
As opposed to treating it like your enemy.
Well, it's been our tagline ever since. And our name, The Time Fix, came on the back of that tagline.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what I realized was that no matter what I did, no matter how much I helped someone with their time management as such, about 6 to 8 weeks after stopping to work together, they would slowly revert to their good old self. And the question was, why?
Yeah.
Why is that happening? What are we missing? Until I realized that one of the most important things that we never ever take in consideration is the human factor. And the reality is that we all are wired in certain ways. Some are more people, some are more systems and processes minded people, and so on. Some are nurturers and some are forward shooters.
Yeah.
But the reality is that everyone has a unique way to relate to time. And I bumped into behavioral science about 5-6 years ago, and it was just that light bulb moment. I suddenly knew what's missing. It's not enough to know more about time management. You actually first need to know what is your personal relationship with your time.
Yeah.
And I went back to that tagline that we found 9-10 years ago together with Craig, and suddenly it made sense.
Yeah.
And from there, it's been a journey of a lot of learning. We created with Pooja, my current business partner, an amazing framework around how does this whole behavioral profile fit in the world of time management and productivity. And we kind of stopped talking about time management because the reality is that you can't manage time. You can only manage yourself.
It keeps marching on. Yeah.
So we'd rather talk about productivity and the way that you like getting things done and how is that reflecting on everyone else around you.
Yeah.
Than talking about time management. Time management should be pretty much a toolbox.
Yeah.
And I always talk about the hammer. You know, I mean, there's a fair height difference between the two of us too. I mean, my hammer will be vastly different to
Yes,
yours.
definitely.
Agreed?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's the same. When you think about time management techniques, the way that the same technique is used by different people should be different, and it should serve your parameters and your way of existing,
Yeah.
rather than just this is how you need to use this technique and that's it. And I always talk about the Pomodoro technique from this perspective. 25 minutes focused work, 5-minute break, repeat. Problem with it is that if you are a systems and processes kind of person, it might take you about 26 minutes to refocus.
Yeah, well, I tried that when I was studying and it didn't work. So.
It just doesn't work. So how do you use that technique still? Because the concept itself is great.
Yeah.
But you need to figure out what's your 25. And when you look at all the time management tools that are thrown at us, you realize that there's a place for everything. You just need to twist it, tweak it, and turn it into something that serves you.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Awesome. So for all the people that are listening to the podcast, they're clearly very good at managing their time and allocating time for self-improvement. How would you, because this is one of those podcasts, how would you suggest that people should, is there a cookie cutter approach to time management, or is it something that you need to customize? And what I mean by that is obviously I'll have a very particular way of managing time, but does it have anything to do with the tasks that are put in front of me? Like, do I do the hard stuff first and the easy stuff later, as I would prefer to do? Or is that something that comes into the equation or not really?
Depends.
Okay.
I say depends because it
Terrible
really
question.
depends. It depends on what's your behavioral makeup.
Yeah.
So if you're more the forward shooting kind of person who lives in the future,
Yeah.
Tackling the hardest thing first is probably a great idea, just because of the way that you function, and you want to keep a finger on that pulse of getting the major stuff out of the way, so that you can move forward. But if you are a person who let's say the opposite, who is a nurturer, tackling the hardest thing first means that you might actually bury yourself straight in the first 10 minutes of your workday. And you will get that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you go into that procrastination circle straight away. And I know this is a dirty word and we kind of treat it as a dirty word, but the reality is that procrastination can be extremely positive. And especially for people who are in that space, who struggle with the overwhelm, allowing yourself, putting a timer on for 5 minutes to just feel, self-pity and self-sorry and have a cuddle, a warm cuddle, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all right. And it actually
Things.
helps.
Yeah.
But for them, it means that they should not start with the biggest thing.
Okay.
They should start with little things that get you warmed up and in that right mindset and momentum, and build up the momentum to actually tackle the hard stuff.
So how do you figure out which type of personality you are, or whether you just don't like what you're doing?
Oh, it's an easy test.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like those.
there's some really cool platforms. We use one called Extended Disk to profile people, and then we take that profile and adapt it into our own archetypal model. And
Awesome.
it's fairly straightforward.
Yep.
People do ask me, "Oh, do you change over time?" Yes and no.
Mm.
Your original wiring is going to be very similar no matter when you're doing this test, but how you present in the workplace today can be vastly different to how you presented, let's say, a couple of years ago or in another role. So that can change because we are amazing human beings who can adapt, and we will do that.
Okay. So, disc profiling, what are the different profiles?
This
This is very bare basics stuff.
Let's not start that because we're
Just
going to
to
be here
bring
tomorrow
people
morning too. There's pretty much 4 major profiles, and the reality is that no one is pure one. They are all a mix of one, at least 2 to 3. No one is 4 because that's Wonder Woman. She's and
superhero, cheetah,
and actually there is one style that can be 1, and those are your high Ds, but it's quite rare.
Yeah.
Most of us are a healthy mix of this and that and everything and whatever, and in different proportions.
Yeah.
And the more conscious and more aware you are of your own behavioral makeup, the more in control you are into which side of you tap in into, and how can you actually use your strengths when you need it and not just be thrown like a boat on a sea.
Yeah. So do you just work with professionals, or what are your perfect clients?
So while we still work with individuals, because we do, where we really shine is working with teams.
Yeah.
We absolutely love bringing a group of people together and helping them understand each other and creating that common team time language that will help them support each other and grow together in a business rather than, being high-performing individuals on their own.
So they get to work together and understand each other.
Yeah, so we absolutely love working with teams because...
almost preferred to individuals.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
That doesn't mean that we don't pick here and there the individual that needs a bit more extra support.
Yep.
But our preference is to work with teams because it's so much more fun.
And it would also be improving the culture of the company?
Absolutely. It's a fun thing. People usually say, oh, if the company's culture is great, then productivity will follow. I think that sometimes you need to flip it over.
Yep.
If you enhance productivity through people, then you enhance culture. So you end up having a better team culture that is enhanced by good productivity.
Awesome. Cool.
And that's how it sticks.
Yeah.
The other way around, there's still the balls in the air.
You can fall away.
Yes.
Yeah.
While if you build good team culture through productivity, it will actually stink.
Yeah.
Stick.
Stink. It'll stink.
Stick. Stick.
Yeah.
Just because the foundation is different.
Yeah.
And you take away the pointy fingers, and suddenly people are working towards a common goal.
It's no longer a blame game.
No.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So, what do you do outside of work?
I play Age of Empires.
Excellent. Excellent. Which one's your favorite?
I prefer the 2nd edition.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
I don't necessarily like the new ones.
Yeah? Why? Too modern, or?
I don't know. I think they take away some of your strategy options in the newer games.
Okay.
Too much is automated, and
so I play Civ, and there's a huge argument in the Civilization community about 5 and 6, and it used to be between 4 and 5, and how 4 was excellent, the best, and they ruined it with 5. And then as soon as the new one came out, it was like, oh, 5's the best, and they've ruined it with 6. And now the latest one, it's like, well, don't even talk about it. So it's interesting. It's like the Star Wars everyone was hating on the prequels until the sequels came out. And now it's like the prequels, they weren't so bad. They were okay. And now it's this horrible Disney stuff that's ruined everything. So do you think there's a bit of that in your accusations, or?
No, because we are, I think, at 5.
Yes.
And people still go back to 2.
Well, of course.
So, and they started to actually bring out new packages and new scenarios and so on to the old ones.
There was one in 2 where I played as, there were the Chinese different empires. I think it was the Wei and the different dynasties.
There's one game that I'm really sorry that they just let go of and they can't figure it out, and that's Settlers.
Oh, yeah, right.
I absolutely loved Settlers.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But the more they tried to bring it into the future, the worse it became. But the original one was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So where did your interest in games come from?
From my ex.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, this will show my age. I grew up in Transylvania, and my first computer was a Sharp.
Oh, wow.
You know, tiny little screen, lots of buttons on the side.
Yep.
So and you probably could play something like Jumping Jack Flash on it.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. I'm not even sure if everyone knows what that is.
There'll be a few.
Anyway, and from there, through school, I ended up working and doing a bit of coding and so on Commodores and Spectrums, ZX Spectrums.
Excellent. Yeah.
And that was 14, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
And then when I hit uni, I actually got into uni to study automation and computing. And while I was passing everything, I just could not be bothered with it in any shape or form.
Why?
It was just not me.
Yeah.
And after 3 years, all my colleagues were already working in the field somewhere, here and there and everywhere. Financially, probably it would have been a better solution to just stick with it and finish it. But I dropped out because it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
And the reality is that originally I wanted to go to hospitality.
Yeah.
But my dad was very firm in saying that, nah.
That's a terrible idea. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do that. That's not a paying job.
Everyone that I know in hospo says don't do it. So that's probably fair.
I was speaking 5-6 languages by then, so it would have just made sense.
Yeah.
So,
do you still speak any of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which languages?
Well, I was born in Romania, so Romanian was the language of the country.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm Hungarian, so that's two straight there. English, a bit of German, a bit of French, and a bit of Italian.
Nice.
So,
can you give us any Romanian?
No.
Okay. It's worth a try. Any of the others? No? Bonjour, no.
It's a funny thing is if you don't effectively use a language on the long run, you perfectly understand, but it's really hard to speak.
Articulate.
You have to be in that space for a week at least for those skills, for those muscles to be flexed enough
100%.
To speak.
So how long did it take for you to learn English?
I don't know. That just happened to me.
It just happened?
Well, the story behind it is that back then, you know, television was a whole different ball game, and we used to live on the 4th floor, top floor.
Yep.
And when after Ceausescu's fallen and the borders were open, we suddenly had this influx of tech coming through to Romania and Transylvania. And what happened? The whole block, you know, 4 flights and I don't know, 10 apartments.
Yep.
We could afford 1 dish. So we had a satellite dish up on the roof, and the set-top box was in our house. So we made the what do we watch this week kind of program. And some of the things that we were watching back then were all these good old English word games.
Yeah.
the pyramid and
right.
guessing and
Yep.
that version of you had to guess the word and so on.
Yeah.
They
That sort
were
of
perfect for
edutainment programs. Yeah.
they were perfect for learning
you
English.
go.
And it was so funny because I think we were about 6 to 8 months into this exercise. And of course, the two major languages that we were watching were German and English. They had the most channels. And at some stage, my dad walked in and we were laughing. And he looked at the TV and he's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "It's joke." It was stand-up comedy. And they were like, "It's in English.
Yeah.
How do you understand?" And we looked at each other with my sister and we're like, "Huh."
I guess we speak English now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We did learn a little bit in school, but our teachers were not necessarily too good.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, it's that corner of the world. But
Yeah.
that's the story behind how we picked up on languages. And my sister speaks even more languages than I do. So it was just a gift, and it just happened to us.
Wow. So what was it like growing up in Romania in that time? It's Nicholas Ceausescu?
Ceausescu.
Ceausescu?
Yes.
What was that like? Do you have much memory of that or not really?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
I grew up in the thick of it.
Yeah, okay.
It's a hard one because while there was no freedom of speech and you had to comply with some dogma and well, they call it communist dogma, but the reality is that it had nothing to do with communism. It had everything to do with a dictatorial regime where there was one person who had an image in his head of what the world and life should look like. And if you didn't comply with that, then you were doomed.
Yeah.
And on top of everything, there's a huge Hungarian minority in Transylvania. And after the Second World War, Transylvania was annexed to Romania. So we kind of became Romanian, not by choice, but just because it happened to us.
Yeah.
So Romania actively tries even today to assimilate the Hungarian population with not much success. But in saying that, some of my best friends are Romanian.
Yeah.
So, people are people, and good people find common ground.
Of course.
Politics is the one that actually kills this whole thing.
100%.
And as a kid, we had our frictions around language and being Hungarian and studying in Hungarian and being beaten up because we were speaking Hungarian on the roads and so on. But at the end of the day, I think we had more freedom than our children had.
Yeah.
We were raised in a whole different kind of way than the rest of the world, just because we had no phone for quite some time, and or you had to dial a central to to pick up the phone and to talk to someone. There was no such thing as privacy when you were taking a phone call or things like that. What was really hard was the fact that Ceausescu had this idea of paying off all the debts. And because of that, he pretty much sold anything and everything that was sellable. Obviously, mostly for his own benefit.
Of course.
But that meant sometimes, not sometimes, it was a regular thing, doing your homework at a petroleum lamp because we didn't have electricity, or having hot water once a week, or
because all the infrastructure was sold or just mismanaged.
It was how he was saving money to pay off our international debts.
Far out.
So
so when did he fall?
89.
Okay. And when did you leave?
I left in Romania in 97.
Yep.
So it was well after school. And I moved to Hungary just because I followed my ex-husband,
Yeah.
and we had our own little cartographical company
Yeah.
there, and I did a degree in cartography.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
that's how I left Romania.
Yeah. And how was the transition moving from Ceausescu to, well, what is it now? Democratic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
What was that transition like?
Republic.
Yeah, yeah.
That was interesting because before the regime fell, we had money, but we didn't have anything to buy.
Mm.
After the revolution, we had everything, but we didn't have money to buy.
Yeah.
So in many ways, nothing changed.
Yeah, okay. You couldn't purchase anything. Yeah.
Maybe in some ways it was worse because it's easier to not want what you don't see.
Of course.
But yeah, so in many ways, when it came to life itself, nothing changed. Maybe people are more isolated now because when I grew up, the whole community, the whole block of flats was working together to solve our food needs, and you know, especially in the last years of his regime, often we only had a quarter of a butter a month per head, or a kilo of sugar and things like that. So you were trading. You know, I have an egg. You have a bit of sugar, and
make it work.
We were working a lot more together in making life bearable. While afterwards, you know, it became a game of who has more and who has more money, and it just became that wealth took over the community.
Yeah.
So I think from that perspective, it definitely wasn't a good change.
Yeah. And was it a violent revolution? I don't have much knowledge of the history.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So we did have guns and shots and deaths. And there were some cities that took it harder than others.
Yeah.
He had no chance. So change was coming.
Yeah, correct. Wheels
Which
of
is
time.
not necessarily a bad thing.
Interesting. So, you're working with the block of flats to manage your food supply and everything else. You obviously would get very close with your neighbours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and now people don't speak to their neighbours.
That's
insane.
probably one of the weirdest things here in Australia that I'm missing personally. That I grew up in these communities.
Yeah,
and now I hardly know my neighbours. Actually, I know my hand side neighbour. He's Mauritius. So
yeah, right.
He needs community
yeah,
too.
Yeah, correct.
But the left hand side neighbor, I still
don't know.
Yeah, it's a wave and that's it.
Oh, you get a wave. Sometimes you don't even get a wave, so that's good.
Well, before we didn't. Now now at least we do. But it's just an interesting change, and I think it's missing something. So
that
community is
100%. We're very lucky. We've moved into an area that's very, very European, and so the neighbours they all knew each other, and they're just like, welcome to the neighbourhood, and invited us to dinner and all that sort of stuff. And we're just like, this is so awesome, but also like, whoa, this is very full on. And we're very lucky with our neighbours. They're all brilliant people. There's one house in particular who I don't think they speak much English at all, so they keep to themselves. But everyone else is super welcoming and very much, you know, how they know everything about you, and they check in on you and they make sure that you're okay. And it's really, really good to have that community. But that's not everywhere.
No.
Which is, I think that's sad.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Especially when you think about our children or future children. Who knows? Just preempting.
Yeah. Okay.
No pointing fingers here.
Yeah.
But the reality is that when I think about our kids, and especially the past 5-6 years, it's been a lot harder when it comes to that sense of community and
100%.
support, and that you know.
Well, I think it can evolve too. My brother was going through year 11 and 12 when COVID hit, and so it was all locked down and everything was cut off. But he's a bit of a gamer too, and there's this Discord server that was created at the start of COVID where all of his friends are in it, and I'm in it, and a bunch of other people are in it, and we all communicate
I'm
through the
in it.
Discord. So it's
You have to be in it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
have no
correct.
choice.
You get the voice, you get in the voice call, and it's just like you're on a group call with your mates, and you're all doing something that you're passionate about, and it's so there's a level of community there, but it's not the same as let's go out and do something. It's still very isolated, but I guess it's sort of evolved, I guess.
And look, the reality is that when my uncle and my aunt with my two cousins moved to Australia, we knew that that's the end of it. So who knows when are we going to be able to speak to them?
Yeah.
While today I speak on a regular basis, not regular, almost on a daily basis with my sister who's still back in Hungary with her 3 children. So it definitely changed.
Yeah.
We were talking about computers. I mean, I went from there to moving to Hungary, and I studied cartography. I was just talking to someone yesterday about this, that cartography on its own went through a huge change from still hand drawing maps 17, 20 years ago, to being digitally aided. And nowadays, you don't even know exactly what a map is. Because let's agree, Google Maps is not a map.
No, it's an image.
No.
What is it?
It's actually a data set.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's nodes and distances and coordinates. That's
there you go.
That's all that it is.
So what's the difference?
Well, a map has a projection. Because, Earth is round and you can't really flatten it out without doing some heavy maths behind it. So,
and no one likes maths.
No, not really.
Yeah.
And it's not the easiest maths.
No, correct.
And you have to make some heavy decisions when it comes to what's more important, the angle, direction, or
how it looks,
scale.
Fits, yeah. So how'd you get into cartography as a business?
Well, that's a funny one. When I met my ex, he had cartographical business already with a couple of other people.
Yeah.
And I that's a funny one. I got off the bus when we first started to really, truly date, because I was still living in Transylvania. He was living in Budapest.
Yep.
And I got off the bus and he had the deadline. And because back then we had these beautiful IBMs.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
He needed help because it was a lot of dot by dot drawing bits. So my career in cartography started with redrawing Hungary's border in really nice red stripes.
There you go.
And I learned so much through that process of helping him that I decided that it was fascinating. It had everything. It had tech, it had tradition, it had a bit of geography, it had a bit of history, it had a bit of novelty. It had a lot of innovation going on in the background. There were no programs that would actually be able to support that kind of heavy graphic design back then. So it had everything, and I decided to actually study for 5 years and become a cartographer officially too. But we went from hand-drawn maps, and I'm not joking. I would walk into the printing office and had to correct some of the films.
Wow.
Because you couldn't redo it
No.
once the film was done.
You can't control Z it.
It was a hand correction to any small mistake. So that's how we started. And as we evolved, we found some really cool programs. And whether you believe it or not, the first good map drawing programs were related to orienteering as a sport.
Yeah, right.
And my ex grew up in that sport, so it was a natural progression. And we were one of the first companies in Hungary to draw maps digitally.
Yeah, wow. So and you're selling maps to the competitors, essentially?
No, back then it was to the wide public and competitors, whoever.
Just whoever wanted to buy a map.
If you go to Europe, there's probably still maps in circulation that would have my name on it.
Yeah, wow. There you go. I mean, Europe, obviously, the borders are very interesting there because they've been decided over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. In, Australia, America, Africa to an extent, a lot of the Middle East, there's just a lot of straight lines. But you'll like this. I'm not sure if you know, but Victoria, so the line that goes along Victoria's western side up to New South Wales, up to Queensland, it's not a completely straight line. Victoria actually moves further west than New South Wales border. You probably already know this.
No, I didn't know that.
So everyone assumes from the far out image that you get that Victoria and New South Wales borders are in a line. But when they were forming South Australia, I believe this is how it goes. I'll probably be corrected, but this is when they were sort of negotiating where the border is exactly going to be. South Australia is like, I want the border to be here. And New South Wales was like, okay, cool, that's fine. And Victoria's like, no, the border's here. And instead of, starting a war between two relatively new states, they've just gone, okay, cool, whatever. You keep that extra few square kilometres on the edge of your state. So yes, when you zoom right in, there's a little bit more of the Murray that goes up, and then it's a straight line down that's further to the west than New South Wales border.
There you go. There's always politics around cartography.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like Europe's borders are so interesting and intricate and so much harder to, I guess, memorize or generate.
But here's the thing. When it comes to cartography, it's not necessarily about the borders. It's the decision making. It's the supporting visual materials that will help you make the right decisions. And it goes back hundreds and thousands of years. I mean, we do know that Columbus's brother was the first person who falsified a map.
Yeah, right.
Well, he had to show that Africa is way too big to be worthwhile going around it.
There you go.
So this is how they presented it to the king.
Yeah, that we need to go that way.
We should go the other way because that's a lot shorter and easier. And look, this is falling off the map. It's that big.
Yeah, correct.
So it's true. It's
incredible.
Absolutely true.
There you go.
So maps. When you think about maps, the reality is that what we use today as maps is not necessarily where the true purpose of maps lies. So nowadays we use GIS and other data sets to actually help in that decision-making process, where it tells you that, let's say, in that, 50 km radius, there's no hospitals.
Yeah.
So we have now big data that supports these kind of decisions. But it's still a problem, because when you think about data sets and you think about human behavior, only people who are systems and processes oriented or minded would be able to process data without a visual, which pretty much leads us back into the purpose of cartography as such.
Yeah.
We still use today thematic maps to help decision making, to show the borders, to show that there's a hospital in that area.
Yeah.
How are you going to do town planning? Where should you put major roads? We're not too good at doing that.
Which one's the best that you've seen? Where's the perfect example of where roads should be placed?
It depends. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on where are your rivers. It depends on geology. It depends on a lot of things. And as a true cartographer, we did study a little bit of geology, a little bit of physics, a little bit of chemistry, and so on. So I loved cartography because it gave me an insight into a lot of other areas of life.
Yeah.
And
it was interesting. It was varied.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So thematic maps were our biggest part of what we were doing. But yes, we still sold the good old tourist maps.
Yeah.
Which pretty much you walk into a shop and you buy them. But it's still changing, and who knows what will happen with cartography as such in the future. Some say it will disappear. Some say it will come back. I think it will never disappear because we will always need visuals.
Yep.
And we are visual creatures.
100%.
But it's an interesting topic. Unfortunately, once we landed in Australia with our 2 young children, I drifted apart from a cartographical career. And just like a good mom, I landed in that space of direct sales. And it just gave me the flexibility that I needed to be able to take care of the family while my ex was trying to bring the bread and butter.
Yeah. Awesome. So when did you come to Australia again?
We landed in 2008.
Okay.
In Australia.
Great timing. GFC.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, there's a story to that.
Yeah, okay.
Being cartographers, one of the things that we noticed late 2006 was that our government orders dropped to 10%. Not by, to 10%.
Far out.
And we straight away knew that something's wrong.
Yeah.
So we started to look around in other areas and poke a little bit in the economy and look at
have a look around.
Listening to the back chatter.
Yeah.
And we did say early 2007 that this is going down, and no one believed us.
Yeah, wow.
Everyone said, we have a big house, 2 children, 2 cars. What else do we want? And we were like, well, we would like to keep it this way to start
correct.
with.
We're happy with this standard.
And then we were told, oh, well, go to England. And we were like, this is same continent, fairly close.
Yeah, correct.
They will be going through exactly the same shit.
100%.
And no one believed us.
Yeah, right.
No one believed us. We put an application in May, and we got our visa to come to Australia exactly a year later.
Yep.
No, actually it was April to April. And we were on a plane a month later, and we were here. And we landed on the 18th of May, I think.
Yep.
And the GFC hit first week in June.
Far out.
It was
excellent timing.
Pretty much.
So how was the visa process?
Terrible.
Yeah? Difficult?
We're not the best country to deal with that.
Yeah. Was it difficult, or was it just, needless bureaucracy, or?
How to say this nicely?
You can say it not nicely.
The problem with this is that they are making it way too hard for people to whom it should be easy. We were lucky because cartography was on a special list, so we had the right kind of qualification and so on, and it was fairly easy. Even with that, we applied twice within the year because the rules change all the time, and the new rules were more favorable and got us here quicker than the old rules. With the old rules, you couldn't really redraw your application, so we got a notification a year later that they were looking into our case, and we were like, nah, we're here.
Yeah. So you'd applied.
And
twice,
then we reapplied.
And then you got in on the second go, and then you got the contact from the first one saying we're looking into
like a year later after we arrived. So that's
excellent.
it just kind of gives you an idea.
There's 2 people with exactly the same name, birth dates, and origin that have applied separately. Let's do both applications. Genius.
And the problem is that, for example, my sister and her husband applied a couple of years later, and because they needed an extra 5 points, which came from being invited by family, that bucket was bumped at the bottom of the barrel all the time.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they decided that it's not worth, because what happens is you can't just apply. You have to bring a lot of paper and recommendations, and the moment that you start asking for that kind of paperwork, everyone knows that you're leaving.
Yeah.
So their whole life was on hold. And that's really what bothers me about this whole process, that there's a lot of people out there who are doing the right thing and coming through the right channels.
Yeah.
But because of the process, they end up having to put their whole lives on hold for a couple of years.
It makes it really difficult. Yeah.
It really makes it difficult.
Yep.
And here's another thing. These people who are actually doing that, they bring money in the country. They bring knowledge in the country. They bring a lot of value to this country.
Yep.
And in some ways, through that process, you kind of feel like you're a fifth wheel.
Yeah.
And it's not a nice
feeling.
Not a nice feeling.
Welcome to the country. Yeah, yeah.
It's not a nice feeling. But it was well worth every pain to get here. To us, it became home. But it's an interesting one. And we're talking about husbands and ex-husbands. And you've heard me say it a few times now. When we applied, our immigration agent said that this country either makes you or breaks you. Well, in our case, it made me and it broke him.
Yeah, right. There you go.
He's back in Hungary.
Okay.
So it was an interesting thing. I never thought that it will hit us.
Yeah.
But it did.
There you go.
It did. It can be difficult when you think you speak English and it turns out that you don't. Because Australian English is bloody different.
Oh, yeah. Bloody different.
It is.
Excellent.
You know.
Bloody different. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite stories on that was when we first bought our first piece of land, and I went to our mother's group and I announced to all the girls that we bought a plot. And the shock on their face. What do you mean plot? Until the penny dropped that I'm talking about a piece of land, and they were like, oh, here in Australia that is referring to a grave. I'm like, okay.
This is getting in early. Like, just got to save my spot.
Well, you got to do
Pick
what
the
you got
best
to do.
spot in the cemetery.
Right?
Like it's
so. When my husband went to work and he was talking about ship, how there's the ship in Docklands, and we went and we had a really nice weekend, and someone asked him nicely, how was your weekend? Obviously they don't care really what your weekend was like, but
they want you to say good. And yours?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he went on to explain how the ship was nice. And they were like, oh yeah, so you went and you saw how they do it. And he's like, what do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Sheep and sheep, So it was. We have these little stories.
Culture shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That are funny, but it takes some time before you pick up enough English to fit in.
Yeah.
To be able to say that yes, I do speak functional English in this country.
Well, that's good because our English is barely functional.
So I'm
just
told.
Jam all the words together. Yeah. It's
And then the abbreviations and the slang. And
servo and bottle-o and all the rest of it. Like people.
And avo.
Avo. People. I do really pity people that come here thinking that they're speaking, American or English.
They get lost.
And they get Australian English, and it's g'day, how you going? And it's like, what? Huh? How many words were in there? It's tough.
But it's just one of those things that once you embrace it, it's a game changer.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's fun and interesting, and not everyone knows how to deal with it. So so this is how we landed, and the reality is that until I started to do party plan, my English was regressing, even though my English was the best when we arrived to Australia, just because 5 minutes at the school gate was not enough to enhance my Australian English.
Yeah.
And we're laughing, but I was truly blessed to be induced in this community of beautiful women who actually helped me in amazing ways.
That's excellent.
Not just language-wise, but becoming second family for quite some time.
Awesome.
Until I spread my wings and started my own
thing.
Yeah.
So how'd you find that support group?
Kind of happens to you, I think.
Yeah.
I went to one of these parties, which I didn't want to go to because these kind of parties back at home means that it's a bunch of old ladies and gents who jump on a bus and they are sold some very expensive crap.
Yeah, okay, good.
And I was like,
No.
no, I don't have money, I don't have
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I really don't want to do this. And this beautiful friend, our kids were in the same playgroup and then kinder, and she was like, no, it's not like that. Just come for the champagne.
Oh, champagne.
Like, great, I can do that. So I went for the champagne.
Yep.
And by the end of that presentation and that party,
Yeah.
I was bloody sold.
Yeah, bloody sold.
So, in
And bloody
Australian-
drunk. Yep.
Maybe that was the one bit
That
that
was why
sold
you got
me.
sold.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I jumped on board with a beautiful company called Nature Direct. Jeanette Anderson is one of the owners and creators of,
Yeah.
of this range of natural cleaning product range, which was quite unique, and it is still quite unique on the market. And they had so much patience with me. I mean, I probably had the first script in the company
Yeah.
because
There you
I
go.
wasn't speaking enough language,
Yeah.
English language, to make up stuff around or to talk liberal about
Yeah.
cleaning products. I mean, go figure.
Yeah.
It's a whole science
far
behind
out.
it. So I still remember that I used to have like a flip chart, and on the back of the flip chart I would have my words.
Yeah.
And you learn to laugh at jokes
pick it
that you
up.
don't understand,
Yeah.
and it just sticks with you
There you
after
go.
a while. So it was an interesting journey, and I
Yeah.
still keep in touch with them. It's still a beautiful community.
100%.
Yeah, so I pretty much made top 20 in the first year, and the rest was history. Yeah, I'm a bit of that stickler,
Yeah.
I like doing things
Well,
well.
good. 'Cause I'm sure people are very appreciative of that when it comes to their maps being drawn correctly. So,
So that's how I started my career here
Yeah.
in Australia, and that support group was more than just providing money. It was friendships and
community.
a true community.
Yep.
And
Awesome.
we're across the whole country, and we still stay in touch. So,
Excellent. Excellent.
yeah.
So, have you seen much of Australia since you got here?
A little bit,
Yeah.
Brisbane, Gold Coast, the regular stuff.
Yep.
We absolutely love Port Douglas, Sydney,
Yep.
obviously.
So, what made you choose Victoria?
It's the most Europe-like spot.
That's true. Yes. Yes.
It's true.
Yep. I'll pay that.
Even though you can have 4 seasons in one day, but it's probably the most Europe-like
Yep.
space. And the other reason why we landed here, we had a bit of family here, which always helps.
Definitely.
And the last reason why we landed here was because my older daughter used to have childhood epilepsy.
Okay.
And one of the world's best children epileptologists, lives here in Melbourne.
Awesome.
So there were a
was
few
a sensible
reasons
choice.
why we landed in Melbourne.
Yep.
And in saying that, it was the right choice because today she's amazing and she thrives, and she just became this amazing young woman. So
Excellent. Excellent. How
yeah.
good. So, other Australian things you've tried your Tim Tams, you've done Vegemite, you've done all that stuff. You've been.
The Vegemite was a hard one.
Oh yeah. Did they give it to you on a spoon?
No, I
Okay,
was I was spared that.
Yeah. Because I've got a few mates and they've all lined up our Scottish mate, and he's gone, yeah, what's this Vegemite stuff? And we're like, oh yeah, you got to try some. And they've got this huge dollop on a spoon. I'm
Well,
like,
that's
it's
not nice.
so mean.
That is mean.
And he's had it. And he goes, you guys eat this? I'm like, not like
yes,
that.
not like that. Oh God. So yeah, it's. I think you fall in love with Australia for a lot of other different reasons. The fact that you can have mountains and a beach pretty much within 20 minutes.
Yep.
Or I think you have to love the multicultural aspect of the city. The fact that you you move a little bit around, and while it looks exactly the same, so there's no difference in architecture. Yeah, we know a few
leaves
of
a
them,
lot to be desired. Yes,
but when it comes to the restaurants, the people, the food,
totally different.
Coffee, even coffee, depending on where you go, which suburb you are in, you will get a different kind of coffee.
Yep.
It just makes you, even after how many years now? 17, 16, 17, 18, whatever. I don't do the maths.
Yeah.
I still discover Melbourne.
Yeah.
I still go down streets and I'm like, oh, I've never been here.
This is cool. Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And now I have a true blue Aussie as an amazing husband.
Yeah.
And Tony just sometimes takes me to places that you can't even imagine. So there's always something to discover.
100%.
And you're still in the same country.
Yeah, correct. And that's the beautiful thing about Australia is there's so much to it. But on the architecture point before, yes, a lot of our buildings look the same, but we do have a couple of really pretty ones.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no. I mean, yeah.
Royal Exhibition Building, Parliament House, those old style buildings. We used to do it pretty well. It's just now that we build boring stuff. I was chatting to someone who is a property flipper / developer, and I said, okay, I want to develop pretty properties like those old, townhouses, the
something
beautiful, like old style. And she goes, yeah, we can't do it anymore. Why not? We used to. She goes, yeah, tradies don't want to do it. Okay, I'm sure if you paid them enough.
Probably they would.
And then I was talking to somebody else and he goes, no, we literally don't have the stonemasons in the country anymore. We have to pay them to come out from Italy to do the stonemasonry on like the really intricate buildings and stuff. And I've gone, oh, another thing that we don't have, but we'll work through it. I like building pretty things. I think that's a good thing for the country. So
it's a fascinating country.
Yeah, it is.
And there's so many different faces to it. And if you are open enough to actually take it on board and allow yourself to be surprised, and it's a fabulous place to live.
Definitely.
Or at least that's how I feel about it.
That's your experience.
Yeah.
Awesome. So one other important question. Who do you support in the footy?
I knew it's coming. Well, I'm an Essendon supporter.
Can the Bombers.
Go Bombers. But I have to say that when it comes to footy, I prefer the other ball, the lighter one. Yep. Yes. So I'm a big Storm supporter.
Well, they've actually had some recent success, so that's probably fair. I mean, I was saying.
Well, that doesn't mean that they will not be beaten by the Broncos on the weekend, but that's a different story.
No, I predict on the podcast that'll be going live. That went live. I don't know when it's going live. It's probably going live as we speak. But anyway, on the last podcast, I predicted correctly that Brisbane would steal the grand final from the Cats, and I reckon Storm have it in the bag.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We deserve one.
100%.
We absolutely deserve
Brisbane don't
one.
need two. They don't need to get both. They don't get
absolutely.
the AFL and the NRL. So it's got to be
one
evened
is
up.
enough.
Exactly.
It's enough that Sydney fell out of the basket.
Yeah, correct.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I was just thinking that 10 years ago, I would not have been able to give you one full sentence around AFL or NRL. What does it make to have a true blue Aussie husband?
Oh, well, that and you're experiencing the country, you're going to games and you're experiencing it. And I was about to say, you've made it through a podcast in a language that isn't your first. So props to you.
That's probably my third.
Yeah, exactly. So that's incredibly impressive. Like it's incredible that you were just able to sit and have a conversation as if, English is your first language.
But that there's a trick to this because a lot of people, especially when English is not their first language, they try to translate. I think that the key when it comes to languages in general is that you need to be able to think in the language that you're speaking in. And this is where vocabulary issues and other issues are coming. So when I get stuck, it's like a hard reboot.
Yeah.
I need to revert. Hit the button.
When was the last time you got stuck talking English?
I do get stuck.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not noticeable.
I do. I hide this really well
Yeah, well,
nowadays.
clearly. There you go.
Um, but then I have a husband who will throw at me that, oh, what did you say there?
Yeah. You've used the wrong word there, love.
Pretty much. And then I usually throw back at him the line that when you speak more than one,
Yeah.
and we'll
Then
have
we
this
can talk.
conversation.
So he hasn't tried to learn any of.
No, he's not.
No.
No.
Just tell him to download Duolingo. Just get him onto it.
Nah, there's no way. Though I have to say that I think 10 years with us in a, half Hungarian environment,
Yeah.
I reckon he understands much more in Hungarian than what he likes to admit.
Yeah.
And he definitely won't be lost if he's dropped from an airplane in the middle of Hungary.
Good.
He'll know basics like beer, sausage,
All the
bread,
important stuff. Yeah.
the important stuff.
No, you don't need anything else. It should be a sausage and bread.
That's it.
Perfect.
And
That's enough.
chocolate.
Oh, okay. Completed. So do you speak Hungarian with your kids?
Yes. So
Awesome.
we still speak Hungarian to the point where my younger one at the moment is in Europe on a half-year exchange in Budapest studying law.
Cool.
So that's quite fun. It was interesting because everyone asked her, why aren't you going to one of the big ones in Europe? And she was like, well, I really want to reconnect with my roots.
Not a heritage. Yeah,
And
correct.
heritage. And it's nice to see that she wants to uplift her Hungarian language knowledge.
100%.
And I mean, it's not easy. Yes, in the beginning, we were only speaking Hungarian, but once 12 years ago, my ex stepped out of our lives, things changed. And since Tony has been in our lives, we definitely speak more English at home than Hungarian, which
But you
makes
still
it,
keep it.
yes.
Yeah.
But we still
Awesome.
speak Hungarian. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
But it's a conscious decision.
It has to be. You need to keep that around.
And the thing is that a lot of people who are immigrants are dropping the language thinking that it's going to be easier to learn English. It's not true. It's kids only benefit from having a second language under their belt.
Yeah, correct. It only helps.
It only helps.
And it only stays a benefit if they continue to use it. Otherwise, they lose it.
Absolutely. And both of my girls said that down the track, when they are ready to become mums, they really want to keep the language. And
Awesome.
And they're very proud of their own heritage.
That's
so.
good. And that's super important. It's like, even I was born in Australia. We've got a few generations in Australia, but I'm very proud of my Scottish heritage. So, going back and exploring the family lineage and all that jazz, that's still super important to us. And it has to be. You got to maintain it, otherwise it goes away.
Any language skills?
No, Scots Gaelic is pretty much a dead language. I was reading this article recently. The dialect that my family would have spoken back in Scotland only has 2 speakers left in the world.
Oh, wow.
So
That's sad.
it's incredibly sad. And I need to get in touch with them. So if by any chance they're watching this podcast.
Well, you never know. You never
correct.
know.
Well, it's like you've got to, and so thankfully it's a father and son, and the father's written the language in the dialect that would be from that particular area of Scotland, so it will be preserved. But when you lose all the speakers,
It's gone.
it's gone,
It's gone.
which is really sad.
It is sad.
And I know there's a lot of Irish people that have a similar thing, because when obviously there was in Northern Ireland, they get rid of the Gaelic and they teach them English to get rid of the language, to get rid of the culture, to assimilate them into more Britishness. And so it's a really significant issue. Once you lose the speakers, the language dies.
I agree.
So it's super important to keep speaking it.
Absolutely. I absolutely 100% agree. So yes, we do speak Hungarian.
Awesome.
And we do try to nurture the language. Obviously, everyday life, you have a limited vocabulary,
Of
but
course. And you only say so many words in a day.
pretty much. Pretty much. Apparently, you can survive on 500 words. So
Don't know how. I would struggle. So do you go to Hungarian cultural festivals? Obviously, there'd be a fairly significant cultural community around you.
Well, there's a healthy community of roughly 30,000 Hungarians in Melbourne and surroundings. So yes, we have a community house, and if you really want to connect and reconnect, then
Awesome.
yes. When it comes to the other avenue where you can actually pick up on language and community is church.
Yep.
Even though I'm not necessarily
Religious.
religious in that sense. For years, we were part of the Hungarian Reformed Church, and they have done a fabulous job in helping the community keep the language and teaching the younglings and just preserving the whole language skills.
And would they do the service in Hungarian?
Yes,
Yeah, wow.
they still do.
Mm.
They still do. So we kind of became, the Sunday church.
Yeah.
Whatever you might want to call it.
Bible bashes. Yeah.
But it just created that beautiful community for the kids to be able to connect
100%.
and to still speak a little bit of Hungarian, even though it becomes harder and harder as time goes by with helping the younglings speak your native language. So it's a lot of hard work.
Trying to think. We've got this beautiful thing down in Geelong called Paco Festa. It's a multicultural festival down in Geelong. And there's like all these different cultures that come out. They've got their own stalls, and they do traditional food and traditional dress, and there's Highland dancers, there's people that play the bagpipes, there's all sorts from all these different cultures. I'm 90% sure there was a Hungarian group there last time when I was there, so I'll invite you.
There is, because there's a really strong Hungarian community in Geelong.
So they'd definitely be there, and they come in traditional dress
there.
and everything. So you should come down and check it out. It's really
Next
cool.
time?
It's a big deal. The whole street's closed, and it's Packington Street's out essentially Geelong's Cafe Central. It's like a little hipster area, and so they close off the whole street, and all the stalls fill up the area, and it's just absolutely awesome day. I think it's a... No, I don't want to say the date because this is recorded, so I'll get it wrong and then everyone will point fingers and laugh at me. So I won't be doing that.
You'll have to let me know
But
when
I'll
that
text you
happens.
afterwards. And
I have a good reason to drive down to Geelong.
Yeah, correct. Well, you need a good reason to drive down to Geelong. Kidding. I'm doing that shortly. Awesome. So we've sort of come towards the end of it. We've covered a lot of ground. I didn't think, speaking to a time and productivity coach, we'd end up talking about cartography and everything else that we covered. We covered a lot of ground. So it was really good. So thank you very much for coming and giving me your time. And how are people best to connect with you and your business?
It was an absolute pleasure, James.
Appreciate it.
How to connect with me? Via all the social media platforms. If you search thetimefix.com.au, you'll find me or Pooja everywhere. It's a funny one because we come from two very different cultural backgrounds with my business partner Pooja. But you find us on LinkedIn.
Yep.
If you search my name, so Facebook, Instagram,
awesome.
website.
All at the Time Fix.
Yes, absolutely. And I network here and there and everywhere, so you might be able to bump into me, and if you hear this weird accent, then you'll know that you've heard it somewhere.
No, awesome. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you. And we'll hopefully have this out very shortly for you.
Thanks again.
Thanks
James.
very much.